Hi everybody. Today we're going to look at the leg area. So I'm just going to basically demonstrate all the muscles and neurovascular supply. Okay, so we're gonna. I didn't have this video in stream, so Burak insisted me to take a video on these areas since we didn't have any information on that area. So now I'm going to demonstrate the anterior lateral part of the leg, and also the posterior part of the leg, both the muscles and nerve and the blood vessels. Okay, so why don't we go down and look at this area. So as you can see, this whole area is the leg. Okay, and after I finish the leg, of course, I'm going to go over the foot. So this is the knee, as you can see here. Okay, and this is the ankle. So between the knee and the ankle, we have the leg, also referred to as the crura. Okay, and so this is the anterior aspect of the leg. Okay, so let's do it like this. So this is the anterior aspect, and this is the lateral aspect. So how do I know this is the lateral aspect? Because it's at the same side of the little toe. All right, and so this is the lateral compartment. This is the anterior compartment, and then we have the posterior compartment. Okay, and the posterior compartment, because of this protrusion of these muscles going towards the back, it's also referred to as calf. Okay, the posterior part of the leg is also referred to as calf. So this is whole leg area, the anterior compartment, lateral compartment, and then we have the posterior compartment. Anterior compartment, so all these, so basically anterior, lateral, and posterior compartment is supplied by primarily the sciatic nerve, but we're gonna divide the sciatic nerve into common perennial and the tibial. So basically the anterior compartment is supplied by the deep branch of common perennial, or we can call that as the deep perennial nerve. The lateral compartment muscles are supplied by the superficial perennial nerve, which is again a branch of the common perennial, and the posterior compartment is supplied by the tibial, which is a branch of sciatic. So basically all these nerves are supplied by sciatic nerve. Posterior is tibial, anterior is common perennial, and lateral compartments supplied by the superficial perennial. Okay, so let's look at the anterior compartment now. So we have three. Let's look at the anterior compartment now. We have muscles that is located. So this is the tibialis anterior on the medial side, which is located on the thumb, the big toe side. Tibialis anterior. So this is the tibialis anterior, as you can see. It attaches to the first metatarsal here, and this is the extensor retinaculum, by the way. It passes under the extensor retinaculum here, superior and inferior. So this is tibialis posterior, and then we have tibialis extensor digitorum longus muscle. Extensor digitorum longus muscle, as you can see, and again passes beneath the extensor retinaculum and divides into 4 tendons that goes to the lateral 4 toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 toes, as you can see. Extensor digitorum longus tendons. Okay. And just next to these tendons, we also have another tendon over here in the dorsal part of the foot. This is the tendon of Perennial tertius. Okay, this is Perennial tertius, and the muscle belly it could be separate. It could be located separately, but sometimes this muscle belly is attached or part of the extensor digitorum longus muscle. So basically, this is the tendon of Perennial tertius, and attached to the fifth metatarsal, as you can see. However, the tendons of the extensor digitorum muscle, the tendons of these muscles, they all go to the distal phalanx and attach to the distal phalanx of the digits. So this is the extensor digitorum longus, and then we have the extensor hallucis longus muscle just beneath extensor digitorum longus. You don't see the muscle belly here, but you can see the tendon here. So this tendon is just beneath the tendon of extensor digitorum longus. This is extensor hallucis longus. Again, it passes beneath the extensor retinaculum and goes all the way to the proximal phalanx of the big toe. Extensor hallucis longus. So the muscle belly, where you can see the muscle belly is basically beneath the extensor digitorum, which is somewhere like here. Okay, this what number is this? This is number 20. So this is extensor hallucis longus. Okay, so it's beneath extensor digitorum longus muscle. So it's deeper located. So So we have three muscles that we talked about in the anterior compartment that is innervated by the deep perennial nerve, the tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, extensor hallucis longus, and then we have peroneus tertius. The tendon, this is tendon of peroneus tertius. So we have four muscles, and these four muscles are innervated by the deep branch of common perennial or deep perennial nerve. So one of the things that in the anterior lateral compartment, okay, so in the anterior lateral compartment or anterior compartment, we get these two muscles out of the way. In the deep area, we see this nerve here. This nerve here is the deep perennial nerve, or the deep branch of common perennial, which is this, okay. And running along the deep perennial nerve is the anterior tibial artery. This is the anterior tibial artery, okay. Anterior tibial artery goes down at the foot area. The anterior tibial artery basically forms what we call as the dorsalis pedis artery, which is important where you can get the pulse there. So that's dorsalis pedis, basically it's continuation of the anterior tibial artery. So this is the deep perennial nerve. So deep perennial nerve supplies these four muscles in the anterior compartment. And deep perennial nerve, by the way, it's after supplying this, it goes to the foot, and deep perennial nerve also supplies two muscles, the intrinsic foot muscles located in the dorsal aspect of the foot, which is the extensor hallucis brevis and extensor digitorum brevis. So we have longus tendon and longus muscles located in the compartment. The brevis, which is the intrinsic muscles, it's located in the dorsal aspect of the foot, which is this muscle here, extensor hallucis brevis. It goes to the big toe, right? And these are the extensor digitorum brevis, and their tendons, as you can see, they go to the last four digits. This, over here, and over here. These are the tendons of the extensor digitorum brevis. So these two muscles, extensor hallucis brevis and extensor digitorum brevis, is innervated by the deep perennial nerve. So deep perennial nerve, after innervating the anterior compartment muscles, it goes to the dorsal of the foot and innervates these two muscles, extensor hallucis brevis and extensor digitorum brevis. And so after innervating these, so this is the muscular branch or muscular fibers from the deep perennial nerve, okay. After innervating these muscles, it becomes superficial between the two toes, the big toe and the second toe, and basically the skin, the cleft, this is the first cleft. So this is the skin that faces the skin that faces to each other of the first toe and the second toe. Okay, the skin area, as you can see, this is the cutaneous innervation of the deep perennial nerve. Okay, so this is the cutaneous innervation of the deep perennial nerve, and the nerves that is way back. Okay, and that has a motor contribution. It has a motor, and that innervates the muscles. Okay, so that's that. One other thing that I didn't. Okay, so that's that. So that's the anterior compartment, muscles and nerves and arteries. Let's look at the lateral compartment now. This is the lateral compartment. Lateral compartment is primarily composed of two muscles, peroneus longus and brevis. This is peroneus longus, and it's peroneus brevis. Okay, basically passes below the perennial retinaculum, superior and inferior. Okay, so this is the peroneus brevis, and basically attaches to the fifth metatarsal here. Peroneus longus goes down and goes below the foot and sole, and then attaches to the first metatarsal below the foot. Okay, so this is the lateral compartment. Like I said, it composed of these two muscles. And the lateral compartment muscles are innervated by the superficial perennial nerve. And superficial perennial nerve is this nerve here. So this is part of the superficial perennial nerve, innervates these two muscles. And after innervating these two muscles, just above the ankle joint here. Okay, so one of them is over here, one of them is over here. So we have two cutaneous branches of the superficial perennial nerve. So one is over here and one is over here. So this one here, it goes down and basically supply the anterior part of the leg. Okay, this is the cutaneous branch here. Anterior part of the leg, anterior and lateral part of the lower leg too, lower part of the leg. So this is the medial cutaneous. So basically we call that. So this is the cutaneous branch of superficial perineal nerve. After it goes to the foot, we name it differently. So at the foot area, as you can see, the foot area, the medial side, we have the medial dorsal cutaneous nerve, and on the lateral part of the foot, dorsal part of the foot, we have the intermediate. So this is the medial, supplies the dorsal medial aspect of the foot, and then we have the intermediate that supplies the dorsal, but slightly towards lateral part of the dorsal part of the foot. So this is the medial dorsal cutaneous nerve. This is the intermediate dorsal cutaneous. So these two nerves are branches of the superficial perineal nerve. Then we have the lateral dorsal cutaneous nerve. The lateral dorsal cutaneous nerve is basically the branch of sural, and that basically supplies most lateral part of the dorsal part and slightly the sole or the plantar part. The plantar and the dorsal part, but the lateral part of the foot, and that's supplied by the sural. And just remember that sural is a branch, is formed by the branches of contribution of common perineal and tibial. So common perineal and tibial come together, the branches that come together, they form the sural. So basically, if you look at the cutaneous innervation, on the dorsal part, we have, it's innervated by the superficial perineal nerve via the medial dorsal cutaneous and intermediate dorsal cutaneous, and then we have the cutaneous innervation on the lateral part of the foot, which is sural, and then we have the cutaneous innervation from the medial part, very small area, which is saphenous nerve. Okay, saphenous nerve, and then the big toe, between the big toe, the first cleft between the big toe and the second toe, the first cleft, the skin facing to each other. That's a deep perineal. This is the dorsal medial lateral part, and then we have the plantar part. The medial part of the plantar surface is medial plantar. The lateral part of the plantar surface would be lateral plantar. So medial plantar, lateral plantar. This is basically a branch of the tibial. That's the tibial. And then we have saphenous on the medial side. Where is saphenous? Dorsal primarily, it's from superficial perineal. And then we have the deep perineal between the first cleft, and then we have the lateral part of the foot, okay, and that's is innervated by the sural. So we finished the lateral compartment. That's the lateral compartment, okay. That's the lateral compartment. Let's look at the posterior compartment of the leg now. Okay, this is the posterior compartment of the leg, as you can see. All right. Okay, this is the posterior compartment of the leg. We have so we have a couple of muscles here. So we divide the posterior compartment, superficial and deep compartment. The superficial compartment are the big muscles, okay? And one of the big muscles that we see here in the superficial compartment is the gastrocnemius muscle. So we have two heads, okay? So we have the medial head and lateral head of gastrocnemius. And beneath gastrocnemius over here, it's soleus. So this muscle here is, okay, it's another big muscle, soleus. Primarily, the gastrocnemius and soleus, they come together, they form this tendon, and that tendon is called the Achilles tendon or calcaneal tendon. They come together, the tendon, and they form this calcaneal tendon attaches to the calcaneus bone, calcaneum, and that's the heel bone, okay? So we have two. So basically, this three muscles, they come together. They all can be also called as triceps sura. So triceps means three, sura means heads, or three-headed muscle. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow, so if I get this out of the way, if I get this out of the way, so just beneath the gastrocnemius we have soleus. This is a soleus muscle. Okay, this is a tendon of soleus and tendon of gastrocnemius. They attach to each other and they form this gastrocnemius tendon or Achilles tendon or calcaneal tendon. So traveling along the soleus muscle, we see a tendon. Okay, this tendon basically belongs to a muscle. This muscle is located over here, basically located on the lateral part of the just beneath the head of the gastrocnemius, which is the plantaris muscle. This is the plantaris muscle, and this is the tendon of the plantaris muscle. This tendon, since it resembles a nerve, and sometimes the first year medical students, they get mixed up. They say that this looks like a nerve in the cadaver, and that's why this is also referred to as freshman's nerve. Okay, so that also attaches to the calcaneus tendon. So we have these muscles. If I get these out of the way, so now we're looking at the deep compartment of the posterior leg or calf. In the deep compartment, what we see here, we see three muscles and neurovascular supply. Three muscles. Okay, the muscles you can orient yourself in these areas by looking at it and by remembering that the middle muscle is tibialis posterior. So we have a muscle over here on the medial side, we have a muscle over here on the lateral side, and then we have the muscle in between. So this muscle in between, if you get to remember that this is tibialis posterior. So this is tibialis posterior on the middle, in the middle, and this muscle here. So this is this is the medial side. This is the big toe side. So the opposite on that side, the side that is the opposite, which is this side here. Okay, located on the lateral side. That's the flexor hallucis longus. So flexor hallucis longus goes to the big toe, but your big toe is on this side, on medial side. So the location of this muscle is on the lateral side, the opposite. Just think about the opposite direction. So in the middle, tibialis posterior, on the lateral side would be the flexor hallucis longus. So we only left off with one muscle, and this tibialis. This is the flexor digitorum longus. So in the middle, tibialis posterior, on the lateral side, flexor hallucis longus, and then the other muscle that we have left over is the flexor digitorum longus. Okay, so these are the three muscles that we have. But however, these three muscles, when they pass through the flexor retinaculum, this is flexor retinaculum here. So this is flexor retinaculum. So when they pass below the flexor retinaculum and they go to the plantar surface, okay, through the below the flexor retinaculum, they go to the plantar surface of the foot. So at the level of the flexor retinaculum, so they have this row here. Remember I talked about it: Tom, Dick, Bloody, Nervous, Harry. So the first is Tom. So this is Tom here. Tom, T stands for tibialis posterior. So tibialis posterior here is at the back of the middle. However, it goes under this muscle, and then this is the first tendon that you see from medial to lateral, Tom, which is the tibialis posterior. And then the next tendon would be Dick, which stands for digitorum longus. So Tom, tibialis posterior, Dick, digitorum longus. Bloody would be the posterior tibial artery. Nervous would be the tibial nerve, and then Harry, which stands for the flexor hallucis longus. So Tom, Dick, Bloody, Nervous, Harry. Tom, tibialis posterior, Dick, digitorum longus. Bloody, artery would be the tibialis posterior artery, and tibial nerve, nervous, and Harry would be flexor hallucis longus. So that's how it goes. In terms of the neurovascular supply in the posterior deep compartment, so we're looking at the deep compartment here, okay? So what we see here is basically, okay, so we see the popliteal artery here. By the way, let's get this out of the way. Let me show you something else. Oops. So this is the popliteal fossa here. So you see the popliteal artery. So these are the branches of popliteal artery. These are the genicular branches. So this is on the medial side, this is the lateral side. So this is superior medial, superior inferior genicular artery, and this is superior lateral and inferior lateral genicular arteries. Okay, we also have the middle transfers, but we don't see that. So these are genicular arteries coming out from the popliteal artery. Popliteal artery, after it passes the popliteal muscle, okay, at the lower end of the popliteal muscle, it divides into two branches: the popliteal artery, which is the anterior tibial, and then we have the posterior tibial. So anterior tibial goes at the front. Anterior tibial goes at the anterior compartment, which this is the anterior tibial artery here. So anterior tibial artery basically goes with the deep perennial nerve, anterior tibial. Okay, so that's the anterior tibial. And the other is the posterior tibial, goes down. So posterior tibial artery is located in the deep compartment of the calf, of the posterior aspect of the leg. So posterior tibial artery goes down. It gives off the perennial branch or the fibular branch, okay, which goes to the lateral compartment. Okay, we don't see it here. So that's perennial. So let's go back. So this is the superior and inferior. This is superior medial, inferior medial, superior lateral, and inferior lateral genicular branches. This is posterior tibial goes. So the popliteal goes down after it passes the popliteal muscle. We have the anterior tibial, and then we have the posterior tibial. Posterior tibial gives off perennial or fibular. So this is posterior tibial goes down. So basically it goes to the foot, and then basically forms the medial lateral plantar arteries in the plantar surface of the foot. So this is the posterior aspect of the leg. What else do we have here? That's about it. Okay, the only thing that I didn't ask you to show you is that this is the tibial nerve. Okay, as you can see at the back here. So tibial nerve, if you trace it backwards, so tibial, and then it's located on the medial side, and you have another nerve here. This is a common perennial located on the lateral side. So basically these two branches come off from the sciatic nerve. So sciatic nerve divides into lateral common perennial, medial tibial. So tibial goes down, and then common perennial on the lateral side, as you can see, it winds around, curves around the neck of the fibula. So this is okay. So this is not a good representation, but it winds around the neck of the fibula, and it divides into superficial perennial, which is this, and we have the deep perennial nerve. Deep perennial nerve innervates the anterior compartment muscles, and superficial perennial nerves innervates the lateral compartment muscle, muscular. And then these have superficial or the cutaneous or sensory branches. Okay, I think that's about it. The only thing that I didn't mention is that the dorsal, the cutaneous innervation of the calf of the leg. So we have over here, we have the tibial. Tibial gives off the lateral sural branch. So we don't see that. It's just these cutaneous branches are located beneath the skin. Okay, so we have. So at the popliteal fossa here, by the way, I'm talking about the skin, cutaneous innervation. We have the dorsal, dorsofemoral cutaneous nerve. Dorsal femoral cutaneous nerve located just next to the sciatic nerve. It goes all the way down and receives the posterior aspect of the thigh, the sensory innervation. However, this dorsal femoral cutaneous nerve goes, so it also supplies the popliteal fossa, and slightly it also supplies the area of the skin just at the top of the leg. Okay, so that area is supplied by the posterior femoral cutaneous nerve. However, when you go to the other parts of the leg, like if you go down a little bit more, then you would see there's two branches that come off from tibial nerve and common perennial nerve. So tibial nerve gives off medial sural cutaneous nerve, and the common perennial nerve gives off lateral sural cutaneous nerve. And lateral sural cutaneous nerve gives off a communicating branch. So the communicating branch unites with the medial sural. They come together and they form the sural. So sural nerve basically is formed by the union of branches that come out from tibial and common perennial, and basically they supply the upper and lower part of the dorsal part of the leg or of the calf. However, the upper at the level of the popliteal fossa, it's supplied by the posterior femoral or dorsal from posterior femoral cutaneous nerve that comes out with the sciatic nerve. So that's sural. Okay. I think that's about it. Okay, folks. Thank you very much for listening. So that was the leg. So in our next video shooting, we'll look at the foot. Okay, and the muscles of the foot and the neurovascular supply of the foot. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Okay, bye-bye.